Hi everyone, and welcome back to second lesson on grade 11 revision and trigonometry. Now in the second video we're looking at general solution when given a compound angle. This grade 11 version simply means we're giving you two angles in a bracket, right? And we have to learn how to solve now this second variation. So find the general solution of each of the following equations. See, they gave you cos theta plus 32 equal negative 0,67. We specify two angles like that. They are referred to as compound angles, but we're going to solve this grade 11 method. So number one, cos it's on its own and we know what the angle is. I can press shift cos 0,67. So I press shift cos 0,67, it gives me 47,9329352 degrees. Please ensure you write the degree sign, right? So again, 1 mark for the reference angle. Now cos is given there is negative. So cos is negative in quadrant 2 and quadrant 3. So in quadrant 2, 180 minus the reference angle. Quadrant 3, 180 plus the reference angle. Right, the angle we're solving is theta plus 32 as given there. So my left hand side I have theta plus 32 degrees equal 180 minus the reference angle there plus k times 360 for cos. Or we have theta plus 32 degrees equal 180 plus the reference angle plus k times 360 for cos. 1 mark for creating those two equations. Now 180 minus 47,93 gives me 132,067 degrees. If I bring 32 across the equal sign, if I transpose it, it becomes negative 32 plus k times 360. 180 plus 47,93 gives me 227,93. Again, if I take 32 across, it becomes negative 32, so I'm only left with theta. So 132,067 minus 32 gives me 100,07 plus k times 360. And 22793 minus 32 gives me 195,93 plus k times 360. 2 marks there for simplifying. Right, and very important, we have to specify that k is the element of integers. All right, let's look at the second problem. Find the general solution of sine 2 theta plus 60 equals 0,9. Again, I have sine on its own with its angle, so I can go straight and work out the reference angle, right? So shift sine 0,9 gives me 64,158, etc. degrees. So 1 mark for the reference angle. Sine is given there is positive 0,9. So sine is positive in quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. So in quadrant 1, angle I'm solving 2 theta plus 60. 2 theta plus 60. Quadrant 1 is just reference angle plus k times 360. Quadrant 2, 180 minus the reference angle plus k times 360. 1 mark for creating those two equations. From there, if I take 60 over, it comes 64,15 minus 60 plus k times 360, which then gives me 4,158 degrees plus k times 360. I have to solve for theta, so therefore I'm going to divide everything by 2 to get to theta. So 2 theta divided by 2 gives me theta, 4,158 divided by 2, k times 360 divided by 2, which then gives me 2,079 plus k times 180, k element of integers. On the other side, 180 minus 64,15 gives me 115,84. Take 60 over minus 60, so 115,84 minus 60 gives me 55,841. It's 2 theta, so again I'm going to divide everything by 2. So 2 theta divided by 2 gives me theta. 54,841 divided by 2, k360 divided by 2. That then becomes 27,92 degrees plus k times 180, k element of integers. So if you study properly, you should get a mark for the reference angle. Should be able to get this mark for writing the two equations. There, 1 mark for so taking 60 over, another mark for dividing by 2, and 1 mark for both correct answers with k element of integers. Alright, let's look at the third problem. So find the general solution. Given 4 tan 2 theta minus 20 degrees equal negative 0,4. So again, I need to get rid of any coefficients of tan. So I'm going to divide by 4, so that becomes negative 0,4 divided by 4, which then gives me tan 2 theta minus 20 degrees equal negative 0,1. 1 mark for simplification. Now I can say shift tan 0,1 gives me 5,71 degrees. Alright, so there I shouldn't read reduction reference angle, so 1 mark for reference angle. So we're solving 2 theta minus 20, as you can see there, 2 theta minus 20 on the left hand side. Right, tan is given as negative there, so tan is negative in quadrant 2 and quadrant 4. Quadrant 2, it will always be 180 minus the reference angle. Quadrant 4 will always be 360 minus the reference angle. So 180 minus 5,71 plus k times 180 because it's tan. 360 minus the reference angle plus k times 180 because we have tan. 180 minus 5,71 gives me 174,29 degrees. If I take negative 20 across, it becomes plus 20 plus k times 180. 174 plus 20 gives me 194,29 plus k times 180. And there I have to solve for theta, so therefore I'm dividing everything by 2. 2 theta divided by 2 gives me theta. And then 194,29 divided by 2, and then k180 divided by 2. So that simplifies to 97,15 plus k times 90. K element of integers. For the second one, 360 minus 5,71 gives me 354,29 degrees. If I take negative 20 across, it becomes plus 20 degrees plus k times 180. 54,29 plus 20 gives me 57,29. And there, divide by 2. 2 theta divided by 2 gives me theta. 574,29 divided by 2. And then k180 divided by 2. Gives me 187,15 plus k times 90. K element of integers. So out of the 6 marks, 1 for simplification, 1 for reference angle, 1 for creating the 2 equations, correctly taking 20 over, 1 mark, and dividing by 2, and then 1 mark for the final answer, specifying also k element of integers. Alright, so hope you follow, hope you enjoy the lesson. God bless. Continue practicing. I wish you nothing but the best. In the 5 videos that follow, we're looking at the other 5 variations. Bye.